How you doing, good sir? What the hell
Hey,
is that? Please tell me that's a carrot.
hell yeah, that's
Oh, I was like,
it was reminiscent of because I wrote a quick outline here for this,
a
so
truth
it,
stock or
it
something.
could be expedient. You guys, stop me whenever you like.
All right.
I don't want to take up too much of the time here, but that was when I was doing unloading of trucks
Okay.
for produce warehouse,
Nice.
and we came across this carrot, and it was just the most massive carrot.
Phrasing.
Yeah, exactly. Anyhow, reminiscent of the time that I actually started with this chick.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Pull this back. There we go. Yeah, I started off with her when I was about 22.
All right. Yeah.
So that'd have been about 14 years ago. And at the time I had about 4 choices of women.
Only 4?
Only 4.
Okay.
As the narrowing prospect.
All
I
right.
only wanted to so go ahead.
Well, we're talking the fat one, skinny one,
There was a fat one. There's a fat one.
one that was probably too talkative.
There was a single mother in there too.
Motor
yeah.
mouth.
That's not even a choice.
No,
Yeah,
no.
well, yeah, right.
It's a hit it and quit it,
Yeah.
if anything.
That's exactly what happened.
What?
Get you
All
used to that weekend. All right. Yeah. Tried to pick the one that I thought I was going to settle down with, even at the age of 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't come from much, so I had to start working a lot of different jobs. Started working in a factory, very little. She had helped me to get my license. I knew how to drive, just didn't have a car to take tests in and all that kind of stuff.
All right.
Moved in together. And things got hazy for a little while. Had to bounce between jobs, and it broke up, as we did for a little while. On again, off again kind of shit.
So it was on again, off again?
Yeah.
All right.
That's already a problem.
Now,
by
first
itself.
of all, there's never off again, on again. It's only on again for her.
Lessons learned, fellas.
Yes.
Jump
Lessons
on this penis, we jump on this penis, we jump on this
She goes full pogo penis on you.
pogo penis.
You know, it's not something I wasn't totally aware of at the time, but I guess just wasn't something that mattered as much then.
Yeah. And you think when you're young, you think it can't happen to you.
Yeah.
So until it does.
Oh, I mean, the ball's on you when you're so much younger.
Well, that's one way to phrase it.
Yeah.
Dumbassery is another way of phrasing it.
Yeah. But got back together, moved into a house, spent a lot of time with the family. Did a lot more work, trying to actually find good, steady work, working upwards, trying to have upward mobility and all that. And I don't know, it got to the point where like I was doing most of the cooking. Taking her out pretty often. I was even growing food in our yard, fixing up everything, doing the oil changes on our cars, all that shit.
Handyman Habitat did a video on it.
Oh yeah.
But what have you done for me lately?
Yeah. Oh, you know, one of my favorite ones was a silly little radio head that I put in her little Toyota. And it was one of these ones where she could wirelessly connect her smartphone and stuff. She was jealous of the radio head that I had in mind because I would just stick a flash drive in it. One of these little Pioneer radios, or I just upload a ton of music on it, and I'd have a week's worth of music just through the radio head in my car.
All right.
Yeah.
But you got her that, and it had hands-free calling, customizable LEDs, all that silly shit.
And because you have it and it's cool,
I got her a better one by far.
You better
I had
okay.
one that like I got from 3 cars previous that I just kept taking it out and putting in a new car.
Well, yeah, it's called being sensible.
So how old was she?
She's a year younger than me.
Okay.
I was born 88. She was born 89.
Okay. God, am I old? All right.
And
So how
Yeah,
did
I know.
how did it break down?
well, it started getting to the point where she starts getting crazy about the ring and the
Ah,
kids and all that kind of stuff.
At 21?
And later on down the line, a couple of years down the line.
A couple
alright.
years.
Oh,
okay.
yeah, yeah.
All right, so she would have been like 23, 24 at this point. Okay.
Right.
Entering the
And-
zone.
So you're in the time frame. Okay.
All right, yeah.
And I'm not opposed to the idea, but there was a lot of issues going on, especially with her being very argumentative, both half Hispanic and all that. So
Yeah. And if you think that's going to get better just because you put a ring on it,
Nope.
It doesn't.
oh no, I knew better.
Hmm.
I don't know if you guys ever remember, and I've said this multiple times around here. My mother is the one who made it clear to me. There's no reason, no rhyme for you to ever get married.
Yeah.
My mother is the one who said that. A single mother.
Okay.
Maybe have an honest one.
To a point. We still had some of our issues.
Yeah, yeah.
But came to a point one day where I think she thought, because like I was hanging out with some of my friends and screwing around. Wasn't screwing around on her.
Hmm.
Go to parties every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
Still working my ass off though.
So you're in your 20s. That's when you're supposed to
Work your ass off.
work your ass off and party. Yeah.
I was still home every night. Still going to work every day.
There you go.
I'd confronted her about some of that, and I'd get certain things where she'd say stuff like, you're probably one of the smartest guys I know. You're probably one of the best guys I know would be a really good father, and all these sorts of things.
That's size up speech.
Hmm.
Hindsight, man, hindsight.
Yeah.
I remember one conversation we had, probably 10 or 11 in the evening, and her reminding me about some of the size up speech.
Yep.
And saying, if I got pregnant, I don't know if I'd ever tell you.
That's not a good thing.
Oh, wow.
That's where, because what was your wake up call, right?
Bail.
It should have been. It should have been.
Oh,
Well, it was and it wasn't, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because it started psychologically fucking with me from that point on.
And you're
And
about
that's
25 by this time, right?
Right about, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And that was probably somewhere like mid-late summer. And that was screwing with my head all the way up until about Christmas. Somewhere towards, I think, the beginning of the winter, I just stopped sleeping in the bedroom.
Oh.
Time to leave.
Well, we did eventually end up splitting.
Hmm.
Tried on and again, off again for a little while. But that Christmas, it kind of culminated because she was furious. Part of the reason I think she was furious is because she thought I wasn't prepared to do any of these things. Because I was still in some of the young modes.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wasn't, because as I've described before, I was slightly red-pilled. I guess kind of purple-pilled in certain things.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
It's not instant.
No.
So
Right.
even
except
you
for bank
dated like
accounts,
almost
not
immediately
getting
after you got
married,
divorced. So.
all these kinds of things, and trying
Yeah.
to make sure that if we're actually going to be that serious about it, it's got to be pretty real there. I spent way too much time trying to actually make that work, but
All right.
I spent that Christmas in the living room. We were still going to have our Christmas and everything like that. That Christmas morning, she flipped out. Cops were called.
Oh,
Well, here we go.
Okay, how bad did it get?
It got to the point where, I got plenty of gifts for her family, the whole 9 yards and stuff like that. I used a little bit of her wrapping paper. That was enough to upset her off too.
Wow.
She started tearing open gifts that weren't even for her.
Uh-huh.
Or petty little shit. Yep. Yep.
Wow.
And it only got physical to the point where, like, I just kind of wrapped my arms around her to pick her up and stop her and move her away from the situation. She sticks her claws into me and starts tearing me open.
Damn.
So by the time the cops show up, there's blood all over me, and there's blood all over her hands. And I'm sitting on the front porch just shaking, like, guys, please don't take me to jail right now.
Yeah, no kidding.
Uh-huh.
You're obviously not
What the cops say?
They didn't say a word to me, and that was the most frightening thing.
Yeah.
Damn.
Because I had no idea what was going to happen. Thankfully, nothing did come of that.
Good.
I'm going to be honest. The minute a woman decides she's going to get physical with you, you need to leave and never come back.
Done and done.
Yeah.
Because if you put up with it once,
yeah, it only gets worse.
Yeah.
I had already had a little taste of. I think that's when I was starting to get into a bit of Sandman and yours. But it was really after that point where it just started consuming a lot more of the content on a regular basis. Because I don't know, a lot of that shit just kept eating at me throughout time. It wasn't so much of the lawfare and custody battles and everything else that a lot of guys would have to deal with.
Yeah.
Which I think maybe I'm good to start off with because it's just a lot more mellow than a lot of the other guys have to deal with.
So basically, the cops were called. They didn't take you to jail. What happened after that?
That was towards the end of our lease for that year. So we just kind of finished out that.
And that was it?
We dabbled a couple more times trying to figure things out and still didn't work out.
Yeah.
That, again, was also because after that, I had started getting more and more accustomed to hearing your guys' voices on the regular. Where
yes.
I'm like, I do not. I've put in so much work, so much time, every minute of every day to make this exactly everything that it should have been in that blue pill world.
And it didn't work.
And that's how you were rewarded.
Yeah.
You got awarded by being clawed half to death. Merry Christmas.
Best Christmas ever, guys.
And so, wait, hang on. So you finished out your lease. You dabbled with her a little bit more, and then you guys parted. And how long ago was that? About over 10 years ago?
Not quite 10 years ago. I want to say it's probably 8 or 9 years ago.
All right.
She what I think was again, she's jumping around. Pogo stick to pogo stick, I'm sure. Tried to stick me with the whole I'm pregnant speech.
Oh, that one
That would
too.
be bad. If it's not your kid, you got to get rid of it.
I had you guys in my ear already because right leading up to that, there was a 4th of July event that we were going to go to.
Okay.
We weren't living together at this point. We were talking and everything like that and trying to work some things out. She sticks me with the I'm pregnant speech and stuff like that. Right before the fireworks start, right? So romantic.
Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of funny how she was on the fence for even telling you if that would happen.
Well, okay,
but that sounds to me like gauging your response, sort of a shit test move.
So you're right around 36, correct?
I am 36, correct.
So she's 35.
Yeah.
Do you know whatever happened to her?
To a degree, yes. She
train wreck.
Enjoy this. During some of that time, she was studying to become a nurse and finished out her nursing license and everything like that. By the time
you would have saved a whole lot of time.
I know.
Just telling us that in the first place.
Yeah.
This wasn't until after the fact, and I'd heard the lesson before. When she tried to swing back after all of this, it was ridiculous. I've said it in chats a couple of times before, and I don't expect anybody to remember. But the moment she was just, hey, how you doing and stuff or whatever in text, I'm just like, no fucking way, never again. Immediately.
How long after the official breakup did the slingback happen?
Oh, that probably had to been about a year and a half.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's like we did the Slingback episode. It's anywhere from 3 to 7 years.
But the closer you are to 30,
Yeah.
the sooner that happens.
Yep.
Oh, well, with the pregnancy thing. So she went on one of these glamping trips. Allegedly.
Glamping trips.
Yes. And it smelled to high heaven from the start of it, and I was like, whatever. You go do your thing. She calls me in the middle of it. It says that she's got to go to the hospital. Something's really wrong. While she's allegedly pregnant here.
Bacterial vaginosis.
Yeah, there's a prolapse.
I don't even know where she wouldn't actually, because I'm like, I'll come down there. We'll take care of this. Whatever. Wouldn't tell me exactly where she was at. Only that she was with her girlfriend. Forget it, whatever. She'll help me take care of this and blah, 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 blah. Oh, God, the baby's gone.
Okay.
That wasn't a glamping trip. That was an abortifacient trip.
Abortivation.
Not telling me anything new.
Son of a bitch.
All right.
All right, brother. I hate to cut you off here, but you've been going on for a bit, and we got a lot of callers that are coming in.
we got
let's
you're
get
good.
going here. But
You're good. Thank you, guys.
No problem, brother. No problem.
glad you came out of it on the other side, and take care of your giant carrot. Just don't show it to me ever again.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the meat caser box.